Hello, hello, hello.
Today is our last class in this lecture series. After theoretical background, model assessment, performance measurement, and the explainability, bias, generalizability, the different aspects of model development, we are now at this moment to have a exposure and idea what the kind of clinical problem we can think for a AI solution and what is the feasibility of current available facilities and situation and data and problem in our hand, and what are the research gap globally, and what globally the AI in healthcare is happening, and what we can do towards in future to take forward this. So in global scenario, up to 2026, the total FDA approved medical devices in AI is nearly 1,400, 500, something like this. And major area is urology and cardiology. And you can see exponentially how in last 10 years it is increasing. So more and more it is coming into regular day-to-day practice. So there are a lot of application that have AI support already. So these are some very well known softwares, AI based clinical support system. Da Vinci surgical system, I think all of us are aware of this robotic assisted minimal invasive surgery. Early Sense and AI Doc is a clinical monitoring system for diagnostics and abnormality detection in some means monitoring of continuous variable or maybe in radiology. So these are from Israel, and rest of the all things are from US, and in last 20 years maybe all are coming out. So BU Health, Alertive, in all these are symptoms checker. This is a digital triage tool for designed assistant patient self diagnostics. So patient self diagnostics facilities there for continuous monitoring the vitals. Then remote patient monitoring is there. Google DeepMind is a research lab, a virtual facility for uh, the different molecular level analysis or high dimensional clinical data analysis. IBM Watson on oncology is decision support tool for recommending therapy in cancer. All these are very well known and established AI based solution for clinical problems in a global situation. In India, there are lot of scope and necessity for the rural remote people where clinical facility is not adequately available and experts are not available there. For the affordability purpose also, for a high end test or high end examination, before that some basic screening tool can be used as just triage the patient, and then bridge the geographical distance, means in remote local village or rural mountaineering area, that can be facilitated by this telemedicine or remote diagnostic tool. And the uh, diverse genomic and different type of population is also there in India. So there are a lot of scope of identifying the phenotypes and the disease association of the different phenotypes. So we have rich data, very large amount of population, and lot of other reason to look into this area that can be helpful. So in Indian scenario, there are certain already established AI-based software that is being used in one of that is by using CT or X-ray image, identifying TB. It works in a minute. It handles X-ray machine. Handheld X-ray machine is incorporated with AI capability to screen patient in minutes in rural areas. So it gives a screening for remote access and for TB that is very prevalent. So there are a lot of tools available: Deep CXR AI tool, QXR AI tool, GenKey AI tool. So this is a triage tool for remote for TB screening. Then another application is telemedicine and primary care. eSanjeevani platform is a clinical decision support system that is established by Indian government health department. So it provides remote consultation. AI analyze the patient's compliance and suggests different diagnosis and relevant protocol based questions. So it's a kind of questionnaire and recommendation system. Ki next you have this type of uh, problem may have, and you can go for next level of checkup. So it win the AI for All Global Impact Challenge title in the 2026 AI Impact Summit in India. So another one is this is a Madhunetra AI that won the prize. It was for screening tool for diabetic retinopathy screening, and it is also remote access based. Next is Imaging Biobank by Niti Aayog. It helps to oncologists detect early stage lung and breast cancer with high precision. So images can be uploaded and the diagnostic probability is the outcome. And Ayur Genomics, it's a Indian cross-section, intersection actually, AI model correlate genomic data with traditional Ayurveda Prakriti, that is constitutions types for personalized lifestyle and herbal intervention. So in Ayurveda, there is also some AI-based application for treatment and support. So with and there are many more. I have collected few of them actually. And the Sahi is a framework in India that is proposed in 2026 to governance the ethical transparency and safety features of the software as medical device. All this AI application is called software as medical device. It is also a kind of medical device that is giving some analytics for diagnostic and intervention maybe. So this is a framework that take care about all these things, and government policies are coming out. CDSCO is there for defining the rules and regulation, how it will be deployed. So in future with AI, it may be more effective for patient care. So what are the exact questions for taking the decision whether we go for AI or not? So one is, first question is task suitability factor. What is suitability means? If the problem is very defined and a targeted objective is there, then AI works very well. A supervised trained model works very well for a specific targeted objective. It should not be very vast, vague, very complex decision making of things. So for a specific objective, you should remember this, the pattern recognition rather than complex judgment. Complex judgment is clinician responsibility, but it should be used as a support tool to take some portion of decision when there is need to have that type of analytics. Yeah. Here, ma'am, when we have multi-modality data like imaging भी है, pathological examination भी है, and blood culture उसका reports भी है, ultrasound based fibroscan भी है. So it is a multimodal thing. And when we thought about a decision whether this patient is having risk of maybe from NASH to fibrosis or from cirrhosis, how it is progressing, then this type of model can give you a risk factor, how it is analyzing the whole data as a holistic way, so that it clinical decision is some step-by-step protocol and accumulating all information in human brain. So it is a mathematical combination of all information giving a supportive probability risk that you are thinking in your experience and what the mathematical equation is giving you. So it will kind of a support to decision making, but it should not be for a judgment. It should be just for a decision making for a specific problem. Means whether it is a steatosis or whether it is a MASH, that type of specific question it should be there. It should not be like how the disease trajectory for this patient will be. That is a descriptive question. It should be a yes, no kind of answer for a targeted specific question. Then what is the risk factor? If it is a very risky, high stake area like taking a decision for in between throughout operation, what is the next medicine should be given for prevention of some blood loss or blood pressure drop, that type of anesthesia related question is very emergency level of this situation. In ICU also there may be some that type of very critical situation. So here this type of tool should not be the decision maker. That is a very risky area. So we should take in our mind, it should not be for, it needs lot of validation actually. So that type of scenario should be avoided. It is still in the research area for that reason actually. So data and population reason in our global scenario and what are the disease prevalence, depending upon that we should choose the problem. So maybe some problem is very interesting to solve by AI, but that may not be very prevalent in our country or our geographical area. So the applicability of the uh, means the AI application and the cost effectiveness. We will put lot of money, manpower, working hour into this. But if it is practically not used, then it is everything is waste only. So that applicability part in our context, that should be also a very important question. Why we will invest into this, and the strength of evidence, how it is uh, validated in our data set or not, what type of diverse data set we have used to test it for the generalizability and mitigating the bias issue, and what are the accuracy for the diverse population. So these are the different areas, and the validity means it should not do at least no harm. If it is not support, giving any support is okay, but it should not do any harm. That has to be, means this is the most important area for the SIDEXCO and the government policy. So it should be a supportive betterment. It should not do any harm and misconception or any kind of problem. And for generative AI, a very important cautious, it may hallucinate. There is no explainability tool till now. So if we are using for any type of analysis generative AI, we are giving, means we are uploading our data and we are having the output, that is not recommended. So be aware of using generative AI. It is not for that type of purpose. It is for generating human-like conversation, not for this type of analytical answer. So what are the exact domain that will focus for AI, choosing AI based analysis? So when there is complex non-linearity, means lot of multidimensional data that is not suitable for simple logistic regression like conventional statistics. So that multidimensional data, lot of non-linearity is there, complex analytics is needed. That is one thing. High pattern density means when we have human expert interpretation has some limit. For example, for radiological data, human eye cannot look beyond certain level. So that type of assessment can be done by AI. For histopathological slide image or radiological image or molecular data uh, related analytics, that is now the dimension is huge. When the DNA sequencing, this type of problem is huge problem. That is recommended for AI. Unstructured integration means image, text data. What is unstructured? That is not in tabular form. That should go surely for AI based application, and it needs continuous monitoring. Means developing a tool is not the end, it is just the beginning. We should do continuous prospective validation to balance the data for clinical purpose actually. So these are some area research gaps that we take as an opportunity. So meshed and mash gap. So identifying the uh, difference between the patient when it is very subtle in fibros scan score, the steatosis level, the mash level, mashal to mash transition, whether it is going for this type of trajectory or not. And then fibrosis level at very early stage, we to identify if the higher level means fibrosis score 3 to 4 is there. It may be hidden in early stage, but the prediction kind of analytics can be there. Mass histology standardization. So histology is a subjective area. The clinical opinion is the gold standard, but their AI analytics can give a objective type of support by analyzing the slide image. There is no scope of subjectivity. So that type of support will be a useful area. Then cardiometabolic and cirrhotic progression. The AI model combining abdominal imaging with clinical risk factor to predict progression from steatosis to portal hypertension and cardiovascular events. So I'm not expert in clinical scenarios. These were some research area that we can take over for this type of disease progression trajectory for predicting this type of risk factors. So this class is more about thought provoking class actually from the clinician sides. What is the feasibility and what is doable? Then therapeutic response prediction for different stages in disease with multi-omic data and other available clinical data. And another arm can be HCC and liver transplant area, early surveillance of HCC and the survival prediction and response outcome for radiotherapy. All these areas can be taken over, and decomposition of forecasting means opportunistic AI screening on routine CT scan to predict variceal bleeding and decompensation risk in cirrhotic cohort. So these areas can be taken, and the transplant allocation beyond MELT. Machine learning algorithm integrating donor recipient matching dynamics to optimize post-transplant survival and waitlist mortality. So all this area you must, I think you know, very important area. And here lot of data is actually involved. The demography, the lifestyle, how the donor and recipient characteristics are coming. So this is a lot of multidimensional aspects are there. So here this application can be very useful. And moreover, these are the broad area. The predictive stratification is one area, disease trajectory modeling another. Then in clinical text, the NLP can have many application. Hospital administration also can have a good application area, like roster maintenance, day-to-day roster maintenance, or allocation of different resources to different divisions. So all these things are in a minute can be solved actually, when we take time to resolve the issue in day-to-day scenario actually. For assigning the manpower in different ICU or different OT maybe, the roster allocation is a huge job. So longitudinal EHR data for patient, for long follow-up, there may be a lot of data accumulated over the time. So that type of analysis for a clinician in a OPD is really a task. It is time consuming. It takes a lot of attention. But with patient population load, it is mostly a very huge job. So software can be used in that way to accumulate time series data that patient has come in the OPD. In a one click, we can have the analytics of across the time how their vitals and every reports has changed. So it will be very accumulated, summarized form of all the information. So that type of different application can be made to make our work easy. And it has no risk also. So our work starts in AI application. Our work starts from data cleaning, data collection, then train test fleet of the data, model development, then features, train test fleet. Train test means data splitting, then feature selection and model development. The model development with means all the features, and then actually this is a two-step thing that we do. With all the features, we first identify whether it is a feasible thing or not with all plausible models, algorithms. Then we select which algorithms are suitable for this type of problem. And with that model, then we start doing the proper steps: feature selection, model training, testing, and everything, and then evaluating the model, and then model deployment. So this is our steps of doing the AI development for a clinical problem, for a solution. So these steps can be classified into some specific steps that is called TRL levels, technology ready levels. So we are making a technology in healthcare data, healthcare application. So here the T0 to T9 is the different levels. T0 is the first principle stage, where the stage for greenfield research. And then T1 is the goal oriented research, means what is our feasibility, what is the available data, whether we should do it or not, all background literature research, what is already available for that. So this 0 and 1 is for that. Then TRL2 gives the proof of principle development, means the first prototype. Okay, this is feasible, doable. When we have some little amount of data and we have applied with the available algorithms, and we have some amount of result that is convincing, that can be doable. So this is the first prototype, proof of principle or proof of concept. That is TRL2. Then TRL3, the system development, the model training part. And then the proof of concept, means this is somehow overlapping. This 2 to 4 TRL levels actually iterative. So what is feasible, what should do we do, what algorithm is based. So this is the area where we are developing the model and identifying the feasibility and fixing the things. Then the machine learning capability is 5, TL6, 5 and 6 is application development. These two steps are the actual implementation of the model. And then 7 is integration, and 8 is mission ready, means the all type of test, generalizability, bias, everything is tested. And then 9 is deployment. So you can think about it in a 4 step. The red one is 1 step, the basic de development part. The orange one is the capacity building and the actual model development. And then 6 and 7 is the testing part for bias. And then 8 and 9 is the deployment part for the regulatory compliance and other things, the logistics. So this, in this 4 part, the whole scenario goes. If it goes towards deployment, some research, most of the research end here. After this 5 or 6, the application, before the deployment, we have the publication at 5. The machine learning capability is seen with a good accuracy. We publish the paper and it is stopped. Most of the study fate is like this till now. Beyond this, it needs lot of funding, government support, lot of effort, manpower, and logistics. So this yellow and green part is difficult part actually. Red and orange is difficult, but this yellow and green is more difficult. So here, when we are doing this type of research, one very important thing is filing a patent. If we have published a paper, we cannot file for a patent if it is publicly available. Patent is for a work that is not available publicly. You are applying for your ownership on the developed thing, the idea maybe, or maybe the software, the algorithm, everything to all together, or maybe in parts. If it is possible to do that, means it is has adequate reason to for innovation, novelty is there. So it is our ownership. If you are already distributed publicly, then it is not applicable for patent. So patent should be provisionally, it can be filed at TRL level 2 when the concept is formulated itself. Nothing is done. Only concept is there, you can file if it is a really innovative concept. Then TRL3 is the examination proof of concept. at here, when the system development part is slightly in infant level with some portion of data and we have proof of concept, then also this can be filed. And at TRL level 4, the laboratory validation means our accuracy has there some uh, amount of accuracy and working model is ready, then it should be surely filed for a patent, because after beyond this it will be late. Filing a patent takes time, 6 months to 1 year it takes. So during the actual model training, evaluation and prospective validation across multi centers, this patent should come. And if we cannot do this, then the research paper publication will be delayed. So everything will be delayed. So it's a interrelated thing. How the timeline should go with this type of, means there are another part. Science is there, but the administrative and regulatory patenting, this is something different. There is patent lawyer also, we have to hire them. There is certain structure for filing all these things. So this is another parallel thing, but we should be aware of that. This is there. The patenting is important. Having then only it will go beyond the publication. And even if we are not going till this deployment last level, we should have patent up novel work. Actually, every work is novel, and like a research publication, a patent is also itself have a value in academia also. So we should be aware of that when we should start patenting, filing the patent. So the key takeaways are the whole covering all the topics, the data quality when we are collecting data, then model evaluation must gain with clinical goal and real world applicability. Adequate sample size ensures stability and generalizability. Explainability is very important. And the AI development is a iterative process with clinician and data scientist. So it's a interdisciplinary collaborative work. Close interaction, clear interaction is very important. And by this side, I'll stop my, actually this is the end of lecture, but now we have a quiz session. This is a very, it will be fun. It is not an exam. So, yeah, yes. Ma'am. So for this, how rigorous it will be, who are the interested people here, that I need to know, ma'am, because it needs coding actually. If you will do hands-on thing, we have to go into programming. So, okay. Okay. No, that is a mathematical evaluation, ma'am. You will have a data set. By hand, you have to calculate actually the Gini impurity for each and every parameters. So it's a math, like math class, it will be. So whether it is everybody will be doing, means who are interested people, I can do that also. So there is total 20 questions. You have to scan the QR code and it will come into your mobile. And you can select the option. It is a multiple choice question. 4 options are there. You have to select a one answer. If it is correct, you will be have full marks. If it is not, you will get 0. And it is very simple question. Everything is conceptual only. Whatever I have told, it is around that. So it will be a fun and marks will be hidden. Don't worry.
Yeah, we wanted more than fun. As far as so once that our thesis should carry
Yes.
So that we need more.
So there is one thing for that MATLAB based application development can be there. MATLAB app is there, but it is paid software, sir. 1 month, for 1 month, they will give freely. If we can get that, then MATLAB can be used for this, sir, without coding. Yes. Yes.
Supposed to be done on a certain computer.
Yes.
Not a lot of
Means means the
Yeah. Initial trial we can do. And I guess
yeah, they came. So if
that will be constructed out of this.
yes, that can be useful, but क्या हो रहा क्या हुआ
डिस्प्ले नहीं दे रहा।
अच्छा आपका स्क्रीन शेयरिंग वाला
इस वाले डेस्कटॉप में खोल लीजिए तो
मेरे इसी में से ही खोलना पड़ेगा ना। स्क्रीन शेयरिंग कहाँ से करते हैं भैया?
स्क्रीन शॉट के
मतलब
विंडो
मुझे हाँ
तो जूम तो होएगा ना।
तो मेरा होल स्क्रीन शेयर हो सकता है ना, वो नहीं हो सकता।
नहीं हो रहा ना मैम, यहाँ पे कनेक्टर के थ्रू नहीं जा रहा ना।
फुल जूम स्क्रीन लास्ट
डेस्कटॉप पे नहीं हो सकता मैम।
तो क्लास का ईमेल तो मेरे पास नहीं है। अच्छा
मैं भेज दिया आपको, व्हाट्सएप पे भेजा, व्हाट्सएप है आपका?
हाँ हाँ
मैंने व्हाट्सएप पे भेजा।
ओके थैंक यू। मैम आपने यूट्यूब लिंक भेजा है, दिस इज नॉट द इसी से स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं हुआ, जूम लिंक भेजा है मैम, जूम लिंक।
तुम्हारा वो कहाँ है, क्यूआर कोड कहाँ है?
ये इसमें है।
डिस्प्ले नहीं दे पा रहा ना, इशू आ रहा है।
सेंड दिस टू यू।
ठीक है,
और
मैं
वो-
पीपीटी में पेस्ट कर दूं,
नहीं पेस्ट नहीं, वैसे ही फोटो चला दूँ।
बट ये
स्कैन हो जाएगा, देख लो। हाँ पीपीटी में पेस्ट कर दो इसको। ये क्या सिस्टम है? ये तो ये भी डायरेक्टली डाउनलोड होके आ जाएगा ना।
हाँ हाँ,
कहाँ?
ये तो आने के लिए कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है।
इसको शेयर करो, इसको पीपीटी में शेयर
हम्म,
हो जाएगा, अभी हो
अभी
जाएगा।
हो जाएगा।
जो पीपीटी चल रहा था ना ये
हम्म,
उसका
हम्म।
मैं बड़ा कर दो। ये चल रहा है।
ये अभी
स्क्रीन नहीं आ रही, अब आ जाएगा।
हम्म, हम्म। अच्छा, ये मीटिंग लिंक का ईमेल है आपके पास? जूम लिंक है मीटिंग के लिए? मतलब ये क्लास का कोई जूम लिंक है? किसी से शेयर नहीं हुआ है ना, तभी तो प्रॉब्लम हुआ। मुझे स्क्रीन शेयर करना था। सर वो चीज, ये सर ये शुरू सबने स्कैन किया है? ओके, सो आई नाउ स्टार्ट। हाँ, बट आप दूसरे का नहीं देख पाएंगे मैम। नाम आ गया। क्वेश्चन 1 is what is the primary function of machine learning? Yeah. Yes, sure. फिर से क्या हो गया? वन सेकेंड, मैंने आगे नहीं किया बिकॉज एवरीवन इज नॉट इन सेम पेज. So, ma'am is asking to. That's only single answer you can select. And मैं next नहीं किया अभी. Next करूंगी तो second question will come. So, ma'am is still scanning the QR code. हाँ. Everybody has started. Then I'm going for. ठीक है, मैं फिर everybody has started, I think. Then this is the first question. I think time is over already. It was more than 1 minute. हाँ. Next is the second question was the correct question. Option B was correct question. Means the option B. So now
लाइव बना कर देंगे तो वहाँ पे आ जाएगा।
ये पीपीटी नहीं है, ये ऑनलाइन में चल रहा है, ये इंटरनेट पे है। हाँ हो गया मैम। सेकेंड क्वेश्चन इज which of the following is not a common application of machine learning? So 1 minute is long time. There is time to think about it. ना जल्दी नहीं करना है. Usually it is set to 20 seconds, but I made it 1 minute so that it's not a machine learning application. So 3 is machine learning application, 1 is not. We have to select that. Time up. Go for next question. So the C was the correct answer. Okay, going for next 3. Question 3. Unlike traditional if then clinical decision support rule, what is the defining characteristics of a machine learning model in a clinical setting? So I have made not technical question, all these are conceptual thinking analytical questions. So time is ending. Time up. B is the right question. Most of them you are correct. 56% is correct. Next, question 4. What is the primary difference between classification and regression task in supervised? It's very easy. Now it is question 4. So it is easy. I think everybody will be very correct on it. So almost time is up. So 84%, it is expected, very easy. A was the correct answer. Next, question 5. In supervised learning, what is the purpose of splitting the dataset into training and test sets? I think time I have given long. You should have 30 सेकेंड बहुत था तो कर सकते हैं 94. हाँ ठीक है. So almost 94 is correct. 94% is correct. So question 6. Which of the following statement correctly describe the concept of bias in supervised learning model? So concept of bias. this may be confusing. So for 30 seconds, I am closing, or I should give more time. Okay. So time up. So mixture 48% has given B. B is the correct. B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer, sir. Next question is question 7. What is the main challenge associated with overfitting in supervised learning models? So overfitting idea. So 30 seconds is approaching. I will close. So we have fourth. Almost everyone has given fourth. So fourth is the correct. Okay, very good. Next question 8. Which of the following is an example of clustering algorithm? Very easy. I'll give you this 10 seconds. So I think everybody has done. I'm going for the next. Okay, 30 seconds is the time. It is approaching. Time up. Almost 35% is correct. K means. Question 9. Which of the following is a challenge of unsupervised learning? Challenge of unsupervised learning. Remember. Okay, time up. Fourth, option D, almost everyone has chosen correctly. 59% is correct. Okay, good. Next question, what is the main idea of semi-supervised learning? Very easy. Time is approaching also. Time up. Okay, 95% is correct. Very good. 11 question. Which step in future engineering focus on choosing the most relevant features? In feature engineering, how machine learning select features, I have explained. Maybe ma'am you are not available. Maybe you are absent. So time is up. 59% is correct. I expected 100% though. Okay, next question. What is the purpose of cross validation in machine learning? Time up. I think almost everyone will be 88% correct. Expected. 13. What is the main role of hidden layers in a neural network? Hidden layers. Okay, time up. Most of 63% is correct. Learning features. Because input output is different, data normalization is beforehand is done. Learning features is the correct. Question 14. What is the primary function of convolutional layers in CNN? Not CNN, hidden layers of CNN. Sorry, convolutional layer of CNN. हाँ ये 82% is correct. Okay. Question 15. What is the key advantage of transformers over recurrent neural network? So, क्या हुआ? Okay, time up. No. 51% is correct only. 16. Which method is often used in generative AI to reduce hallucination? Time almost up. 64, 3% is correct. Just option B. Question 17, a researcher want to analyze, it's a long question. 1 minute, it will have 1 minute. Time is almost over. 48% is correct. First option is the correct answer. A. Next is, it will also have 1 minute. Yes, these are a little bit longer question, तो मैंने 1 minute किया है. Okay, almost over. Time is okay. I think most of you will give the right. Fourth is the D is the correct. Yes, yes. In which AI architecture is best suited? Automatically detecting, segmenting, and focal lesion. I'll give 30 seconds only. This is a very straightforward, easy question. I thought after thinking. So time is up. So everyone, almost 90% is correct. I deliberately give that so that it will boost some. Uh, yes. So last question. 1 minute. B is the correct. So now, how can I can. So, the number one, should I announce the first three? You have got the list? Okay. Okay. So, so no, these are. But interesting thought. Thank you for your participation. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you for the amount of